Welcome to another episode of You Both Suck. It's your boy, Kunal Aurora.
And I'm Dara Pollock.
Yo, I like doing episodes of just us two.
We have to stop saying that
in
the intro.
Every
say
time.
that every single time.
But you want to know what I like more?
Okay.
The new reviews we've gotten in, the new 5-star ratings we've been getting from people on Spotify.
Yeah.
All right. So I saw the number jump up, and I got to say this. To those who've been doing it, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
that
you.
means a lot. To those who have not, and there are a bunch of you, you know what? All it takes is, first of all, nothing out of your wallet.
Yeah.
Takes a few seconds to leave a 5-star rating from Spotify. And if you want to leave a review on iTunes, I mean, a couple sentences. What are we talking about here?
You don't have to leave paragraphs.
We don't need a thesis.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, be my guest.
We're not going to stop you.
I love creative writing as well.
Right.
But you don't need to do that. So
Absolutely. But to those who have, thank you. And to those who haven't, there's still time for you to do so.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Today is a very exciting day for me because I launched an Instagram for my work, my business, if you will.
Yes.
It's called The Misfit Creatives.
Yes.
If you're a social media person. Actually, I meant to bring this up. One of the reasons that actually pushed me to start this was all the troll-like comments that we got on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram for the influencer, like what it's like to date an influencer post that you put up.
Yeah.
Literally, I have had this account for over a year. Like I think a year and a half I made this account a year and a half ago. And I just have been sitting on it for a variety of reasons, just like anxiousness, whatever, and other things. And that was what pushed me over the edge because I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I was like, I have a reason to take photos of my food. Like,
Right.
I don't really care what the trolls have to say because at the end of the day, most of them are probably just incels who haven't had
They're
sex.
hurt people who hurt people.
Literally, there's that. And like, I just think it's whatever.
Can I just take a second
you
to
look
really pat myself on the back as how much defending I've been doing, even though this is my fault. Even though this is my fault.
I was like, pat yourself on the back for what?
The problem I created? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, no, but again, it's not really even a problem. It's more just like, it goes to show you though what, like who it's reaching. Because really, if you look at the comments, it is 98.9% men.
Yes.
They are, I think, upset at hearing somebody, like a girl, saying that she won't date them for XYZ reason. It's another reason that a girl won't date them.
I can't believe men are angry.
I mean, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, right. So I'm not really bothered by that, but it was the push that I needed to start this Instagram and just actually have a place for it. Because on top of that, I went out on a date earlier this week and the guy like asked me what I do, and always explaining what I do is like hard. So I never really bring up Instagram. Like it's not on my Hinge. It's not public. I will bring it up eventually on maybe the second date, but first date, I rarely am pulling out my actual phone.
Sure.
But I pulled out my phone and I was showing him my Instagram and he was like, "You're a food photographer? Like, let me see some food pictures." And there was like nothing there.
Yeah, because it's littered with all podcasts.
It's all podcast stuff. It's like just thirst traps, if we're being honest. I mean, not that many, but there's like just some pictures of me like in a cute dress or like, you know, it's me. That's my account. And it's always been that way. But I never had a place to actually house only my work stuff. So I was like, maybe it's a sign. Like maybe it's time.
100%.
You know? Yeah.
I stopped letting my Instagram be about personal stuff.
Yeah.
And letting it start be about
just comedy. I
yeah.
know. And that's the thing is I could have done that too. And I was trying to do that. But the thing is, because I started my account so long ago in the beginning days of Instagram where my account was purely food porn. Like it was like occasionally there was me sprinkled in there, but it was mostly food. And like my audience has gotten so jumbled over the years that I don't even really know who I'm speaking to anymore. So I'm just kind of like, fuck it. I want to have this account live solely for this reason.
And I think that makes the most sense. You should separate those things. But let's get to the part that
let's
really
get to
got
the
me.
Exciting part.
How was the date?
It was fine.
It was fine?
It was good. It was just... It wasn't a spark. And like, I understand a lot of people are going to be out here saying like, oh, but a spark is not like what you should be looking for. And it, you know, can build. And I do agree with that.
Right.
However, I do feel like there has to be an initial like attraction / desire to like see that person again.
I don't want to hear people that talk about the spark.
Yeah.
Like you want to know, a spark is so little. I think that when you meet somebody, it should just kind of like within the first little bit of time. You should know. A date should let you know.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I thought you were saying something else. But yes, I agree that the spark is overrated. Like for a date, yeah, it can build. But I also think at a certain point when you've been single for a while, you kind of know what you want. You know what you like. I think in that first date, I usually know if I want to see you again.
That's what I'm saying.
And
You spend a couple hours with this person?
Yeah.
You're going to know.
You're going to know. It's like, I remember...
How long are you supposed to be with this human being? How long are you supposed to date somebody? Well, like, what do these people want from you?
Okay, but think about it. Yeah. Like, realistically, it has happened many times that people will end up dating people that they were friends with. It does happen.
Friends with, I get.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. But I'm saying like on a date with somebody. I'm talking that specific instance. Friends is a different story. You go long game. You go long. All those things happen. Right. Dynamics change. So on and so forth. But I'm saying on a date with a person you just met.
Yeah.
A couple hours, you should be able to tell.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is
I'm mad at these people out here.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it.
Trying to give you guff.
I get it because that's where I'm at, being single at my age and whatever. Sometimes you have to give it time. I'm like, yeah, but also how much time are you really supposed to give
and
it?
Also, how much time do you have?
Exactly. You're just don't know.
Rife with time?
Yeah, no.
Those years have passed you so long ago. They're so in the rear view. You don't have time like this.
Is this a real conversation right now?
I'm kidding. I'm also teasing.
Okay.
Teasing. Yeah.
But no, I mean, that was the other thing. So like, I'm going to just be honest here. I feel like we have talked about this before, and this has bugged me many times in the past, but more so in the past, I would say year or two. It's just something I started to notice as a behavioral thing that I think am subconsciously somehow seeking out, and I'm trying to stop it.
Okay.
It's that, I mean, look, we talk about it all the time. I'm very much like a guy in a girl's body. Okay.
Sure.
So I think guys immediately feel comfortable with me, which is a good thing, but they also tend to just treat me like a friend. And like, that's good in some ways, but I also want to know, are you even into me? And I go on dates with these guys sometimes where like there's no compliments, there's no mention of my...
If a person can't compliment you...
That's what I'm saying.
Then there's something wrong with them.
I think so, but then I'm also like, but on the flip side, what if he's just not attracted to me? That's possible,
then that's fine too.
Then that's fine too. But this guy did, and the other guy too, the last one that I went out with where I got the same vibe. Actually, the last like 3 guys I can think of that I went out with, same kind of vibe. And then they all asked to see me again. So I'm like, but why are you not flirting at all?
Right.
Like, there's no like playful touching of the knee. There's no like, oh, you look great. Nothing. And
you think
I'm just
these
like,
guys are
happening?
afraid of being like called out, or you think that they would be...
I think they're afraid of me. No, I mean, honestly, I don't know what it is.
Right.
But I'm just very fed up with that kind of energy. I feel like I deserve to be treated like a woman.
No, I get it. Listen, we all have certain quirks about us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I will get very upset if someone doesn't throw the word good before the word night. You know what I mean? Like simple.
We're not talking about this right now. We have a very heavy episode to get through.
Okay.
We're not talking about that now.
I'm a man with quirks too.
Yeah. But again, point being is like, it was a good date. It was fine. It was just like, I didn't really get that vibe. So it was kind of funny to me when he followed up being like, hey, should we hang out again? And now I'm like, I got to tell you the whole, like, I felt the friend vibe. It's like, I got to give a speech now. Like,
I got to say this. I really think that if a person can't be complimentary towards you and they are attracted to you, that is a massive red flag.
See, and that I agree with.
And it's not about seeking validation.
Right.
I think it's if you are attracted to me, but can't give me the minorest thing, which are words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Then what are we doing here?
But some people do have a tough time with words, and I get
then
that.
They can go right, you know what they can do?
They can go right to hell. Yeah, no,
they can go right to hell.
That's the thing is like, I realize that is no longer something I'm willing to tolerate.
Not your problem.
Exactly.
All right.
I've dated men like this before. I don't want to do it again.
Go right to hell. Do not pass go. Exactly. Do not collect $200. This is what's happening.
High five.
All right. Yeah.
Elbow.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, let's move on.
Yes.
Dating is fantastic at 40.
Okay, so some fun-filled news.
Yes.
I went to see Fall Out Boy.
Yes. And wait, it was because I wanted to go to that concert. It was Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World. So they had a couple opening bands, right, that were alternating. But it was, in this case, it was Hot Mulligan, who I saw last year. Jimmy Eat World and Fall Out Boy.
Great lineup, honestly.
Phenomenal.
I mean, I wanted to go, and then I looked at the prices, and I was like, this is a lot. I'm not going to do it.
And I said to myself, you know what? Sometimes you got to spend money on you.
Yes.
And that's what I did. I said, and you know what I was going to do? I could have gotten nosebleeds. And I said, you know what? They'll be all right. And this is what I decided. I said, I want to sit on the most front row.
Right.
But I don't want anyone standing in front of me.
Totally.
I picked the section 1.
Okay.
And that means on the front row, and everyone in front of me was on the floor.
Right. I saw the
below.
photos and the videos.
Yeah.
You looked like you had some pretty decent seats. Like you definitely splurged on yourself.
Absolutely.
But you told me something that I thought was bonkers.
I'm so excited for you to drop this.
You didn't stand once.
Not once.
That is crazy, dude. That's crazy.
I know.
And I am a gimpy leg person, and I think that's crazy.
Let me tell you what happened. When I decided to not stand once, I said to myself, you know who's going to be really impressed? That gimp leg Dara. She's going to be at least proud. And turns out you turned on me. You go, you didn't stand once during the concert? I go, no.
Crazy to me.
Crazy. I think when you want to be, you decide how comfortable you want to be. Right? And as you get older, if you will have more comforts that you want, then you should seek them out.
Okay.
Right? We do them in a lot of ways. We get premium seats. We get business class where we can, whatever we can do.
I understand all that, but it's music. I feel like, how do you not move to music?
You want to know what I enjoyed doing? Sitting in my chair and watching unobstructed.
But you could stand and watch unobstructed.
1,000%. But the joy of having a seat the entire time.
Listen. I'm with you on having a seat the entire time. So I went to see the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert at Wembley Stadium, which was probably the best concert I've ever been to in my life.
Right.
And it was a crazy lineup. It was probably a 7-hour concert.
Phenomenal.
And I remember when I was talking to my friend about it, we were looking at seats, and I was like, no. I mean, I need an actual seat. Like, I'm not going to be able to stand for 7 hours. What is this? So we ended up getting seats. But I mean, I'll be honest, it was up and down. Like, I get up for songs. I like to dance. I like to sing along and put my hands up.
Singing. I'm not begrudging anybody.
That's what I'm like. How can you not do that just automatically though?
So this is the thing. There was a song that came on that really got me excited. And I said to myself, I don't have to.
I was just going to say, you forced yourself to sit back down, didn't you?
I'm okay with that.
That's
I literally said, I was like, hey, I could stand up and dance. You know what's crazy to see with Fall Out Boy? They've been around for so long. I was watching people my age with teenage kids.
Oh, like rocking out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a woman who was probably maybe a couple of years older than me who had her teenage daughter. And there was a lot of these happening. And I was like, oh man, I've really made a lot of mistakes here. I fumbled the ball.
You were like, my life could look very different right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I went to a concert similar to that, where the clientele was like a little bit older than us even. It was Love Rocks NYC. And that was like a lineup of a lot of people. Dave Grohl was there. And there was like parents around our age, maybe a little older, but they had kids with them. Right. And they all knew the songs. I was like, this is how it's like just cool to see the generations passing down, you know. But
so I'm sitting in my seat. Yeah. I'm enjoying the music. Right. And they had like a thing where Pete Wentz actually walked right by me. It was like real cool. And I'm like enjoying it. There's like a security guy who's like standing. Like, and it's 5 feet below me, right? But he's standing in front, and I could see basically his upper back and maybe mid back. And he's standing in front of me, and he wasn't standing there before. And then it starts to smell. I suspect this guy was beefing.
Okay.
I swear to you, he was farting, and I was not having it. Okay. I paid so much money for these seats. I said, I'm not going to sit here and let this guy take advantage of me.
So what did you do?
I stuck my feet between the guardrail and hit him in the back. I kicked him.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I kicked him in the back.
Yeah.
He went, oh, and then looked over, and I just looked at him, and I gave him the look that said, I know what you're doing.
I know what you're doing, and you disgust me.
And it's gross. And so then he moved over.
Okay.
And then he came back, but every time he came back, I'd slide my foot out and he'd run into it again and again. And I was like, the amount of money I paid for these seats.
Okay.
I do get to kick a security guard.
I mean, I guess that's understandable to a degree, but don't you think that focusing so heavily on that detracted from you being present for the concert?
1,000%. And it's his fault.
Sounds a little like it was your fault.
Oh, I'm supposed to just get farted on?
I mean, how do you know it was him?
The way he looked at me.
You're in a concert stadium.
The way he looked at me, Dara, everything on his face said guilt.
You're insane.
All
You're
right?
a crazy person.
I understand that.
Okay, also, wait, before we get too off topic.
Yeah.
This just reminded me. You've never been inside MSG?
No.
You told me that. That's bananas.
How? Because I'm not such a massive sports fan, one.
Okay, but concerts?
I mean,
I've seen so many.
Like who?
Billy Joel.
That's the thing. I've never seen Billy Joel.
Okay, but other people too. Right. I've seen Muse there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
I mean, I've seen just other venues. I've always been able to get them at other venues. I know.
It's
but
New York.
Is it not very New York to be a New Yorker and not go to touristy places?
No, not for like that. It's
right.
MSG.
I guess you're right. I've been to the Barclay a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, same. But I actually saw the Strokes at Barclays.
I saw Madonna there. I saw Lorde there.
Yeah, I've seen. I think I've been to pretty much every. Now that I think about it, I think I've been to pretty much every single one.
Terminal 5?
Well, that used to be Exit, so obviously I
okay.
hold it close to my
R.I.P.
heart.
All right, fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will say it was great. Fall Out Boy was phenomenal.
Yeah,
He's got the voice. His voice is second to none. I think he's a better singer than Freddie Mercury.
That's a psychotic thing to say.
I'll say it.
Literally,
I think so.
and also I saw the videos that you posted. Hard disagree.
I mean, that's fine if you disagree.
Hard disagree.
But I will say this though: the guy Patrick Stump has pipes.
No, he can sing. He's got a good voice.
Phenomenal. I think that because he's such an introvert, that is why I think a lot of people don't give him the credit he deserves, because he's not as much as a showman as all these other singers.
Maybe.
I mean, Pete Wentz does all the talking.
Yeah.
During the concert.
I know. I met them before, actually.
Okay, well, all right. Fair enough. So it's just like something like that. And I think that when you have somebody who's so introverted but a good singer, it sort of hampers their popularity.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I guess. I don't know if
you're telling me your popularity, I mean, like, if your ability... If somebody's
Look at
good
Beyonce. She doesn't ever fucking do interviews. We don't know anything about her.
Well, yeah, that's different.
And she's
but
iconic.
before she stopped doing interviews, when she did do interviews, she wasn't. It's not like she was an introvert. She's charismatic.
She's charismatic, but she wasn't really out there.
Like, I mean, not as.
Also, wait, no, lies.
Patrick Stump is vastly different.
Nirvana, Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain, what about him?
He was introverted as fuck. He hated talking to people.
I understand that, but that was part. Their popularity was hinging on the introversion of them, which is different.
Disagree.
No, their popularity was based on how introverted he was, how anti-establishment,
right? Well,
how anti-mainstream.
But my point is that your point doesn't really make sense then.
Your point doesn't make sense then.
You said that he's not popular because he's introverted. Kurt Cobain was fucking introverted as hell, and they were popular as hell.
Their popularity is based on their introversion.
Okay, but then you're saying that being introverted should make you popular.
But if that's not what your popularity is based on, then it's a different story.
So then what's their popularity based on? Fall Out Boy is still popular.
Yeah, they're still popular, but they're this pop group. They're mainstream-esque. Like they're
very mainstream.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so they're still popular.
I understand that they're still popular.
Yeah.
But what they're popular for is Pete Wentz talking more, and you know what I mean?
Sure, I can agree with that. He's more the front man.
Exactly.
I get that.
Which is like, whereas like somebody's voice, like Patrick Stump, gets overshadowed.
And
it should be celebrated more than Freddie Mercury.
No, that's insane.
It's a different take.
I'm not even going to go
I know,
there.
I understand that.
Yeah, no,
okay.
that's crazy.
But nevertheless, I still think that the guy his voice is...
I don't know. I guess it's good. I think the other guy from Panic at the Disco, I think is...
Brandon Urie?
Yeah, thank you.
You think he has a better voice?
I think maybe it's it's different. I'm trying to like think of it in my head, but I love his voice. So
I think he's got a great voice.
I feel like it's different, but
it is slightly different. But I think that there is definitely
they're similar though. Now that like I'm thinking about it, especially because they came out around the same era, and I loved both of them.
I think Stump can hit higher notes.
Maybe I don't know. It's not something I've really thought about before, but anyway, whatever. Great times, great oldies.
Speaking of introverts, we do have a fantastic submission.
Yeah, we have a very long submission. Well, not very, very long, but I will get through it. It's detailed and it's kind of heavy. And
we like that.
And we do like that. So thank you for the person who wrote in.
Also a fan of the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, of course I'm going to mention that. So it doesn't really have an intro, but it just says, by the way, love your podcast. It cracks me up. And now here's a long one and crazy. Have fun. I'm mid-40s male, live in NYC for many years. I have a friend, let's call him Steve, also 40s, for this exercise. I've known Steve for years, and we've been close friends for a good 15 plus years. We still each have our keys to the city, so there's that. Steve is a bit of an acquired taste. He's now vegan, quit drinking, doesn't smoke, etc. I have a seafood diet and still enjoy my cocktails. I have very different lifestyle choices now. But Steve is also a privacy nut, by the way. Not in a political way, but definitely a big brother way. He won't shop at Target. I order stuff for him on evil company Amazon. He only talks to me via a very secure app. He's not on social. He wears a COVID mask in public and hates getting videotaped. He lives off the grid. We have a few mutual friends, and one of them is having a party at his place, but he won't come because there's a ring on his door. I could go on, but you get the idea. Less than a year ago, his wife, separated, passed away. And there are issues with her family, etc. I'm supporting him as a friend through this time. We go for good food, which is hard when I want everything, but I do go to veggie places. And we have lately hung out at a bar and shoot pool. But he latches on to me at least once a week. I see him and we do stuff. Yeah, it's a pain, but I'm okay with that. But then he says, I want to go to Japan. And I'm like, no, it will never work. You can see why. The layered problem. All my other friends think he's weird. And when they meet him, they're like, who's this nut who wants to live in a van? And his talk and habits spook out my friends. None of my friends want to hang out when I'm with him. Oh, you're with Steve? Never mind. Lately, he's asked me why he doesn't see my other friends lately. Well, duh. For New Year's Eve, I hosted a party, one I've run a few years in a row, about 20 or so people. I didn't want to invite him this year because my friends, some of them won't come. He's caused issues with guests last year, so I made an excuse that I had a double date that night and told my friends in case they bumped into him, and that worked. Yes, but now there are picnics and other events. Some of it he won't come, see ring example. Some he's going to come to because he knows I run them and they're in the park. What do? Does he suck? I suck? Or my other friends, are they just selfish and do they suck?
What do they mean by keys to the city?
Okay, that was going to be my first thing. I believe that just is the like symbol of trust, honor that you have like between. It's a saying because other than actually having keys to the city.
Yeah, I didn't think that was it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like other than that, I'm pretty sure that's just a term that people use as a form of like strong bond camaraderie. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Right. I did Google it just to make sure because I was like,
oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, because I was like, what if this means something else? But I couldn't even find anything on Reddit, which is where I feel like you would go for something like that.
Sure.
It still seemed to say it was like a trust and honor thing. So I don't know.
It's like when I always will look up, is this company legit? And Reddit. And I'll throw the word Reddit in there.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I tried that. I did, I thought for a second it maybe meant virgins.
Yeah. I thought it meant they had keys to each other's places.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, but yeah. I looked it up and all I found was it was like a, bond, like honor and trust and like a saying that people use to describe like a good group of friends or something.
Sure.
I'm assuming.
This is a complicated submission.
This is a very complicated submission. And I also found myself to be a little triggered by it, if you will, because, and we'll talk about this. And if my brother is listening, hi, Cliff.
Shout outs to Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff loves the podcast, and we do love that. But Cliff has had some issues with friends over the years because of similar issues to this guy, Steve. He's not as insane as Steve, but he's got some quirks. And me saying this, if he's listening, he knows all this. This is nothing that's news.
Sure.
But I felt bad when I was reading this. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, I feel like I've been in a situation or two in my day where like, I have been around people or I've had friends in my life that I know won't respond well to Cliff, to my brother. And I purposely will not bring him around because I will know how they will be laughing at him, not with him. And it's almost like a protective thing that I do.
Yeah.
Which sucks a little for him probably, but I think he knows this. And like, also, I hope he knows this, but
also that's like that's crummy on them though.
Of course it is.
That's just absolute trash on them.
Of course. And that's what I'm saying with this guy's friends. It's like, I kind of understand where the writer's coming from. And I don't think he's totally wrong for just like, I hate like lying, but I don't totally think he's wrong for trying to, in a way, protect the guy from these people who don't like him.
Right. If they don't like him, that's a different story.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And and right. So, and like in my case with Cliff, I'm not saying that was the case. It was more just like, I knew the type of people that they were. They wouldn't respond well to him. So I was like, let's just not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, the thing
this is like an open, like they're open with this guy apparently about how much they don't like Steve, right.
And this is the thing. I don't know where this sort of started to come from. And I'm thinking about my own life, and I think that there are people during the pandemic, some people developed some serious OCD
and agoraphobia, which sounds like this could be a little
right. So that's the only. I think that the pandemic sort of pulled back the layer for some people. Like it showed like, oh, this is what they're really feeling, and they have to be public about it now. And that's, I think it's difficult for them, absolutely. But I think that, but then you have to see these things that they're going through, and it's tough. It's really tough. So and I've seen like friends who were super scared about being indoors, way past when everyone was boosted up.
Right.
And then there are other people who are now have lost faith in the government in a lot of ways, and they're super suspicious. And a part of me, to a degree, part of me agrees.
To a degree,
but it's like, but then there's also another part of me that's like, hey man, I want to eat indoors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I also want to,
I got to a point with some of my friends that were like that, where I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to go out to eat with them. I'm going to dodge it for a little. I hate to say, but that's what I was doing, is I had a few friends who were like that. I mean, it was like 2022 and they're still eating outdoors. I'm like, I'm done with
like
this.
when it's winter.
I'll take my chances.
And I'm out here eating outside. I go, I can't do this.
Right, exactly.
It's like, I don't want to be cold like this, man.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand like accepting people for their flaws and their quirks and stuff. It also, I wish I had a little bit more color on how this guy genuinely feels about Steve, the writer, because he says, it's a pain, but I'm okay with that. It's like, it's not his brother. It's like, do you have to?
It seems like this guy really likes Steve.
Yeah, I think he does.
And it's like, I'm willing to tolerate, like, we'll go, like, and it's weird that, like, he's like, well, Steve is now a vegetarian, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Right. I enjoy seafood and a cocktail. To some degree, you seafood and cocktail people also are irritating. To the people that eat everything, you seafood people suck.
That's a good point. I also did want to bring up the whole seafood diet, and that's for people listening. It's SEE, like you see food and you eat it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in so long. I was like, this is amazing. Yeah.
I thought he meant like a pescatarian.
Bro, did you not read it?
I did. I read it.
It's spelled SEE with a hyphen.
Oh, I thought this guy just didn't know the word pescatarian. Oh, he's just a pig. Okay, all right.
Porky Hawk approves of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, buddy, I seafood too. We're in the same camp then, aren't we?
I haven't heard that phrase in so long. I was like, oh man, I remember that. Oh,
I thought he just didn't know how to spell seafood.
It literally has a hyphen.
I didn't know. You know what? Me and this writer are similar now. We're very similar. I see food, I eat it.
Okay. Well, anyway, yes. Yeah. But you're right. It does sound like he likes Steve genuinely.
Yes.
I do wish I had just a little bit more background on like if it is a friendship, he is because like if you're writing in, is it more about the friends, or are you trying to cut ties with Steve? I would hope not, because I feel bad for Steve a little.
I do feel bad for Steve,
but
because Steve seems like there's gotta be.
Yeah.
Like, we hear all the qualities.
Right.
The issues.
Yeah.
The ring stuff. The distrust. Won't walk into a Target. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Very funny. I know a lot of people that are very normal that don't order off Amazon.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And I'm not one of those.
I'm not. I
so,
live off of Amazon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I ordered soap.
I ordered so much stuff.
I ordered one bar of soap I could have bought. And I was like, you know what? That's just what's going to happen.
It's just mad convenient.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I get it. But I think that there are incredible qualities about Steve.
Yeah.
There have to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because let me make this absolutely clear. Cliff, love you, but if you weren't my brother, sometimes I'm just like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, there are things
that's family.
And that's family, and it's different. That's why I'm wondering to myself, I guess they must be close. There must be a reason they still stay this close. And I think that's great.
Like really hilarious.
Yeah,
maybe.
We don't know. Yeah. But I think it's commendable, because clearly the writer has to deal with a lot of, it sounds like, mitigating, and handling.
That is exactly the word that is happening here, is mitigating.
Yeah, which sucks. But I mean, like, I respect it from like somebody who's sort of understands, where you're like, it seems like he's doing it to protect Steve. However, I will say, so like, my brother has, I'm not going to air all of his shit on here, but like, he has Asperger's, which if you're listening and you don't know what that is, it is Asperger's with a P, not burgers that you eat. But what a horrible name. Like, why don't they change
I'm learning so much on this podcast.
You've never heard this before?
I've been calling it Asperger's.
Oh, it's with a P.
Well,
okay. Well, now the more you know. Rainbow.
That star should hit me in the head.
I'm going to see if I can make that happen.
I'm such an idiot.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, now you know.
Yeah.
And it's like a autism spectrum disorder, like of the high functioning variety, which my brother definitely has. He's not like full blown autism or anything, but he's on the spectrum. Like, that's for sure. And Asperger's, though, is a big thing for him. Like, social cues lacking a lot. So, like, I remember specifically one time we went to a restaurant together, and he was telling me about a bartender there that was like talking to him about stuff. And I said, it sounds like she's flirting with you. And he goes, Dara, I have Asperger's. I don't know when someone's flirting with me.
That's
and I was like,
funny.
that's amazing.
That's very funny.
Yeah. And like, but my point is like, maybe it would help the writer to talk to Steve about this, because I clue my brother in a lot to self-awareness things that he never considered before, because his brain doesn't work that way.
And it's like his focuses on ABC,
right?
Yours focuses on XYZ. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem is that because most of society is XYZ, we look at ABC in such a way that's sort of difficult.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue right there. And I think that by this writer cluing in his friend Steve, that will make a difference.
It will make a difference. At least you try.
Also, this is just a me thing. I don't like to mix friends.
Okay, so I'm
a huge non-mixer of friends.
But that's like weird at some points. Like, what birthdays and stuff?
I operate like Warren Buffett. I keep all my friends in a separate circumstance, and they don't see each other unless I die.
I mean, okay. I don't know. I do keep my friends separate to a degree, but it's not necessarily by design. This is by design.
When I met your friends for New Year's Eve, I was like, I want nothing to do with these people.
That's insane.
They're all very nice.
I was just going to say, exactly.
They're all super nice. They're super polite, and they're really sweet people. And then I said to myself, these are sweet people. They don't deserve my ire. They don't deserve the problems I'll bring to their lives.
Well, look.
Dara does, but these people do not.
Obviously, I'm the lucky one here. No, but I also understand when you get to a certain age where you're just kind of like, I don't need any more friends. I get that. And I've been there myself. I have
too many friends now.
Yeah, I was somewhere recently where I was like, I should try harder to talk to people. And then I was like, no, I'm not. I don't know where I was, but I was like, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, I don't usually do it by design where I'm like separating my friends, but it does make me a little anxious sometimes when different groups of my friends do come together.
Yeah.
That New Year's Eve party was one of them, because it was a little bit of a motley crew. Thankfully, everybody did get along very well, and it was fine because we're all fucking adults. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the writer's friends, I don't know. I'm like, these people sound kind of shitty, and like, it's just, I don't know.
Maybe they've reached their pinnacle. You know what I mean?
That could be too.
Maybe,
and
like,
he did say that they had problems with Steve in the past. So I get that.
Maybe they're at a point in their lives where they're also going, hey man, I don't want to hang out with this guy.
Yeah.
This guy makes me feel uncomfortable. I've never enjoyed the conversations we've had. Listen, one of my closest friends is so ridiculous. He's so out the pocket. He says wild shit. You know what I mean? Some of it's political
Wilder than you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's political, right? He'll say politically wild stuff too. And this is what's nuts. He doesn't even vote. Like, he literally...
That's terrible.
That's just the worst.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. So he'll say like extremely, not extreme, he'll say right-sided stuff. like right-leaning stuff, which I've got no problem with.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. But then the problem is a lot of my friends are left-leaning.
Yeah.
So then it just becomes very uncomfortable. And so what I do is I have to keep him sort of off to the side to a degree. But this is the thing, though. My buddy, Derek, doesn't care.
Right.
He hates most people anyway.
Okay.
So he loves it. He goes, I don't want to hang out with these losers anyway.
Well, see, that's...
And I'm like, all right.
But that's what I'm saying is that works out.
Yes.
Because...
Right.
It's like an agreement.
Yes.
An understood agreement.
It's an unspoken but also spoken about agreement. But the spoken part is the fact that this guy Steve is wondering where did all the friends go.
It makes me sad to read that part. It made me really sad to read that where he's like, why are your friends not coming around?
Right.
It's like that makes me sad, but it also that part is on the writer.
Yes.
That's your job, I guess, to clue him in. You can't just keep lying to the guy because you know what's going to happen. It's one of those lies is going to implode.
To have
eventually.
a whole party,
and
somehow, it's a lot. Like it's just not worth it.
It's not cool. As a friend, it's not cool. Like I get where you're coming from, but like as a friend, it's not cool. And eventually, one of those lies is going to slip. And I just feel like you're better off just nipping this in the bud because at least then if you talk about it, you're alleviated of the stress that this is probably causing. Right. I would think.
Listen, I got no problem lying either. I think lying is fine.
I mean,
I think that it's
in certain situations.
Yeah, sure. But it's like if it's a lot of work to do the lie, then don't do it.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying. It sounds like he's got to go to multiple people.
That's what I'm saying.
And
this
tell
is crazy.
The lie.
This is a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of stress.
I agree.
Yeah, you don't want all that.
I don't like whenever, it's a good point too. I don't like when I have a lie that I need to back up with multiple people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Yeah.
You know where you got, listen, by the way, if you speak to whoever, tell them I was I hate that. You can't trust people
you can't do
do that.
Yeah.
And that's what this guy's doing.
Yeah. And it's like, I've caught people in lies by just talking. Like somebody was telling me a lie. They're like, yeah, I ran into Frank and we were hanging out. And then I spoke to Frank.
And there was no hanging out with Frank.
And there was none hanging out.
Yeah.
Frank was not there. Frank was absent that day.
And then you have to wonder, why did they lie to me about Frank?
Exactly. And I'm like, this is the problem though, is the lie incorporated two people.
Right.
If you're the one lying about yourself, that's it.
Right.
Do it. Be clean about your nonsense.
Yeah.
If you're going to have mess, make it a clean mess. There's a reason why the junk drawer exists.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a junk bin. You put all the trash in the bin, for Christ's sake. Don't let it out the bin. This has gotten messy.
I'm trying to follow this metaphor. You may have lost me.
I'm saying that the lie is not very contained when there's multiple people involved.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's too many heads are now involved.
But a junk drawer would imply that it is very much contained. That's why I got confused.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of lie you want.
Is
a contained one.
Right.
You know?
You can't let this stuff be flying around all over the place and trusting multiple people to tell the same story. It's like telephone exists, like that game.
Yeah.
You can't. Somebody's going to get a detail wrong. And
I think that in a lot of ways, Steve kind of deserves the truth.
I was just going to say
These people love it though, don't they?
What do you mean?
Steve, he probably digs the truth.
They love truth.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. Like if this guy is like autism spectrum, Asperger's, if there is an element of that at all, which I don't know, but it sounds like it could be,
right?
Or OCD, whatever. If he is that, believe me that they appreciate literal mindedness.
Yeah.
Nothing gets on my nerves more than when I'm trying to explain something to my brother and like he's so literal minded that like it's sometimes difficult, but then once you do kind of get through, then they understand. But it takes a minute. So I'm like, I could understand the writer's point of view where he maybe feels like he doesn't want to or something.
Right.
But you gotta try because this just sounds like way too much work.
Yeah, you're honestly like putting so many curtains up around this person. And I think that because they're probably these people, like this person, Steve, wants this truth. I think
so I was just going to say,
so.
I think too, because I also lost what you were saying before and I meant to say this, but like, I wonder if Steve is really like, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Self-aware is number one, but it's like, does he want the truth? That I don't know. I think they appreciate the truth. Don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know that the truth.
Yeah, I guess there's a difference between
it.
appreciating and wanting are different.
Yeah,
but
and also like just it could be. It sounds like the habits that he has, especially very OCD type ones, those are tough to change. So it's like if he's trying to change him, I don't know that that's gonna work.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No.
I wouldn't recommend that.
It's not truth to change.
Right.
It's truth to be like, listen, man, people can't.
Yeah.
They can't like. They don't want to deal with this. They don't want to do this. This is just not what we're trying to do.
Right.
Like, it comes down to, like, if people, like, when I go out to eat, there's certain friends that I'll call.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, over my own girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because she's a pescatarian.
If you're going to barbecue, that's not going to work.
But there's, like, certain restaurants, like, for example, there was an Indian restaurant in the city, right? And it was going to be $100 a plate. Okay? And this is really an expensive meal for me.
Right.
So I called a friend who eats everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I know I'm never coming back here.
Right.
So I know I need to try as many different things as possible.
And you don't want restrictions.
And I don't want restrictions.
I get that. Yeah, I get it.
So that's why I called another friend who's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's the other thing too, is like literal logic, that kind of rationale. If maybe he were to just explain, look, you guys have had issues in the past. So, I mean, he can't be blind to that or oblivious to it. If he is, then that's a separate problem that he's got to work on. But I think like telling him that this is what's going on, I think would help as a first step, but I wouldn't expect necessarily understanding. I would maybe hope for acceptance.
Right.
As opposed to understanding.
Yeah, no, not understand. Yeah, listen.
Because look, these people they don't like you.
Like, that's it.
You know.
That's just what it is.
It's messed up. So I don't think he's going to be like, oh yeah, I understand. But he might be like, all right, I get it. Like I accept it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Even getting it almost. Yeah. It's like you just have to just go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's also like, unless you want to change, unless Steve wants to change those things about himself. But I have a feeling based on the litany of things that he gave that he might not want to or be capable of it.
Right. And that's fine. I mean, there's obviously some quality about this person that you like so much that you're willing to stick through it, you know? Yeah. And there's like so many good places to eat that are vegetarian.
Right.
You know? I'm not going. But
I was just gonna say, I was like, I don't want to do it. But
I mean,
yeah, but I mean, I have a friend who's vegan, and it's like, look, and my dad's girlfriend is vegan, and like every time we go out, I gotta find a place that has something for everybody. Is it a little annoying? Yes, but also at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world.
That's true. There's one of my good friends. He's vegan, and I don't think about it too much.
Right.
Because when we eat, I go, yeah, I'll eat vegan for this meal.
Right, exactly. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that often of a situation, so it's fine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. He said he sees Steve once a week. You can survive.
You can do a vegan meal. It'll add to your life.
Exactly.
Sadly.
Yeah. The seafood diet, listen, I love it. I respect it. I'm basically the same.
Literally, I ate Doritos, hash browns, and a Philly cheesesteak while watching a show about fitness.
Oh, yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah, I am trash, all right? Literally watching the most chiseled people on earth while gorging down orange soda. I am a garbage person.
Nothing is better than that. That's like me when I'm watching the Olympics. I'm just like, oh, he's not going to make it.
Right. Yeah.
Like
nachos to the face and just going, I would rate that a 9.8.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a complete jerk.
It's so true. Yeah. But anyway, what else was there? Hold on. This was one of the first ones in a while, by the way, that I took notes for.
Yeah, I see that.
I brought out my legal pad.
Yeah.
There were lots of things on here.
You should have been a lawyer.
I mean, I know. Oh, yeah. Actually, also the agoraphobia thing. I wanted to say, fun fact, I was borderline agoraphobic for a little bit.
What do you mean? Really? When?
After the accident. After my car accident. Yeah. I was afraid to leave the house.
Yeah, isn't that justifiable agoraphobia?
I don't know that it is because it was like, so again, if anybody is listening that's new, I got hit by a car when I was 17 and I almost lost my leg. It was very bad and whatever. So, like freak accident, but I was lucky enough to keep my leg, but I was very close to being amputated from the knee down. Mm-hmm. And anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I could be friends with you.
What?
Yeah, I just realized I don't think I could do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
If you were missing like your leg from the knee down, I don't think I could do it.
Come on. You were waiting to throw out something insane this entire episode.
I'm telling you right now.
And that's what you chose?
Yeah, that's what
I was pretty sure that you were going to come in here and be like, this guy is afraid to come out and afraid to go to Target. You know what? He should be a target and we should just kill him. I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I just did it. The Paul Hollywood handshake. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, Dara, you really got me. God damn it, I hate it. I hate it when you come in. See, the thing is, I'm like a death by 1,000 cuts person. I come in with the tiny needles. You come in with some wild haymakers, and that was a haymaker. And I really am very annoyed. I'll tell you what. Shut up. Shut your goddamn mouth. Yeah, I wouldn't hang out with you if you were an amputee.
Sounds like you wouldn't hang out with me regardless now.
Yeah. No, this I respect. This I wholly respect. I wish I was wearing a hat so I could tip it. Truly.
Oh my God, I'm sweating. But anyway.
Yeah. No,
so.
I am a very odd person, and there's weird places where my empathy shines.
That's so weird. You have no empathy for amputees? This is a crazy thing to say. He's just, I wish you could see his face. He's just like, not for me. Not for me.
I mean,
I
to
can't.
be this close to you with you missing a limb? No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We're going to blow past this. I'm going to go back.
I'm not saying that I don't think that you can't have friends that are amputees. I'm just
You're saying you can't do it.
I'm saying I can't have this close a friend.
Listen, all my friends like now make fun of it. Like it's a funny thing that we make fun of now. But at the same time, you do got to wonder if I had actually lost the leg, would they make fun of it? I don't know.
Of course not.
Like they call me Lieutenant Dan and stuff like
of course.
that.
Are you kidding me? There's no way in hell they would ever say those things.
I don't know. Maybe they would eventually. You never know. You never
eventually,
know.
But I'm really leaning on a hard no.
Well, either way.
Yeah. But it's just like but I think that because that was justifiable agoraphobia.
So I was gonna say,
like my cousin's
to some degree,
ex-wife got stung by a bee. She never left the house.
Well,
again.
that's a little.
That's
crazy.
what I'm saying,
That's
right?
crazy.
Or I'm not even sure if that's real, but it sounds like it. It feels like it was some bullshit reason.
Well, I'm saying like it was to some degree justifiable based on, and this was going to be my point.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that I was 17 when this happened.
Yes.
I mean, I was a kid.
Of course.
I was not.
No one is arguing that at all.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm explaining though.
Yeah.
Like I was not mentally equipped to handle really the depression and the anxiety and all the stuff and the PTSD that followed this.
Right.
So my answer became just kind of shelter myself and not really go out much.
Absolutely.
And my therapist was like, your mentality has shifted from things that are bad can happen to things that are bad will happen. And that was what happened with me is like this mentality shift. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I still struggle with that mentality.
I think that's a problem with maybe some of these people post-pandemic.
Well, that was my point. Is like Steve sounds like he might be one of these people where that mentality took over after the pandemic because a lot of his stuff seems very related to that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I'm just saying.
And I feel bad for these folks.
I do. Yeah, I do too.
Really.
But they also, they have done it to themselves. You know? Like they've done it to themselves in a lot of ways.
I think a lot of these feelings were there in ways that we weren't really sure of.
That's possible.
And I think that it now became like out in the open.
Like it exacerbated it.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it got exacerbated, or now we had to see it.
Or it got released.
Yeah.
Like a pin. You pulled a pin and it just flooded out. I mean, I guess maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was clearly some mental thing that was there beforehand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I know people now. Like, I mean, okay, you do you. Like,
I make my own hand sanitizer. Who am I?
That's true. And like, that's what I'm saying is like some people.
This is why I have a lot of empathy for those folks because I'm closer to them.
Yeah. I mean,
But if you're missing a limb, I swear to God.
I mean, I definitely have friends who still also wear masks, like which, by the way, I should be wearing the mask on the train. The train is fucking disgusting.
Can I tell you?
Like, we should, honestly.
All right. For people who are judging people who are wearing masks on the train, take your earbuds out and listen for 4 seconds.
Literally.
The amount of people hawking.
It's disgusting.
Is gross.
Horrible.
It's like, so this is what I'll do. I'll have my earbuds on transparency mode off so I can hear what's around me.
Yeah.
And then I'll hear somebody coughing. My mask goes on.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is
every jacket I have has a mask in it.
Yeah, I stopped wearing masks a while ago on the train, and I shit you not, I've started getting sick more often. When we were wearing masks, I don't think I even got so much as the common cold. Yeah. I was like fine for over a year during COVID. I didn't get COVID until 2022. Okay. Yeah, it was May 2022, and
strong flex.
Well, my immune system now is absolute trash.
I mean, listen, I do think that.
But this is my point.
I think that you should I think these germs do help in a lot of ways. Yeah. But if it's if you've got
germs help or masks help?
Germs help because you get sick, your immunity gets stronger.
Maybe I don't know.
But I think that when it comes down to, if you've got a busy week, if you've got stuff to do, then it's man, I'm not trying to be sick as well.
Exactly.
That's why I think the mask is really helpful. Yeah. Anyone who judges people for wearing masks on the train can go right to hell.
Exactly. So I will say to the writer, let him wear his mask. It's all right. You know, there's other things, bigger fish to fry in this one. Well, not in his case because he's vegan, right?
Right.
But
very nicely done. Nicely done.
Anyway, I don't know.
So it's time to rule.
I think so. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't think really anyone sucks here. I don't.
Oh, I've got.
Oh, you've got
of
course you
opinions.
Do. I mean, I have opinions and I've aired them, but I don't really think that Steve sucks. And I don't really think that the writer sucks. I think he needs to, if I had to choose one writer, I'm sorry, I'm going to choose you simply because you are the one right now who has all of the information and you're not delivering it. And I think that that's a little unfair to Steve, thinking that he can't necessarily handle it. Again, you know him better than we do, but I think it's on you to express that to Steve and tell him what's going on. And I think you'll alleviate yourself from the stress of having and the burden of having to carry this.
Right.
So I kind of feel like neither of you suck, because I actually think for a lot of it, it seems like you're being a good friend to him. You still hang out, and I really, really respect that as somebody who's seen her brother go through a lot of ebbs and flows with his own friends for similar reasons. And that's tough to deal with. So I commend you for that. And I think you've been doing a good job and you've been approaching it right. But if I had to choose, I would say you suck a little bit more. But really, no one sucks, in my opinion.
I will say this, though. I think that the writer has taken a lot on his shoulders and an unnecessary amount. It's time to let this go. Yeah. And it's because you want to be so considerate, you're sheltering the person that really matters to you.
Right.
And I think that's what it really boils down to, is you have to let this go.
Yeah.
I think we could throw a lot of sucks across the board here.
Yeah, we could. I don't know. I don't think, because I try not to say that somebody sucks for their life choices. I'm not going to say that someone sucks because they want to wear a mask or they're vegan or they don't drink. I don't think you suck for that.
Yeah, and I don't think that. Part of me almost wanted to put this on the friends to a bit, but then
he did ask if the friends suck. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, well, if I had to pick then absolutely the friends suck.
Yeah, I think that the friends have a little bit of stink on them.
Yeah,
I will say that you're doing this in a way that I think is more stressful than it needs to be.
Agree.
And then you can kind of let this go. You can explain. Hopefully Steve gets it to a degree, and then you can live life on the terms where you guys get to hang, and it's no problem.
Right. And actually that was one thing I meant to bring up too. It's you're already, I feel like, doing a pretty solid job of keeping the boundaries that you need to make your friendship with Steve work.
Yeah.
The whole we got to go to Japan thing, and then he's like, no, it'll never work. I respect the hell out of that.
Now, if it was Steve going to Japan solo, I would say let him do his thing.
Right, but he wants to go together.
Oh, then absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That he's we got to go to. Right.
I've got friends who won't go on vacations with certain friends.
Same.
Because of their dietary restrictions.
Oh, I mean that's a lot. But I just
they're it's super vegan, super gluten free.
Yeah, no.
Super it's I
don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to deal with it, but I would if I had to. But I have some friends that I just know we probably wouldn't jive well on vacation together, so I wouldn't go out of my way for it.
Yeah, no, I'm smoking cigarettes and drinking. You don't. I'm a bad person to vacation.
I'm a bad boy.
I'm a bad girl.
Anyway, I think he's done a pretty good job of keeping boundaries as it is. Mm-hmm. But I would say, it's time. Have the convo. You'll be grateful that you did, or it'll implode your friendship, and then you can just move on.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
I really don't think that'll happen.
I don't think that'll happen either. But that is, I guess, the drawback. That's the fear, right?
Yeah, but that's the fear of any kind of tough conversation.
It's not you who has the problem with him.
True.
It's the friends.
That's true.
And I think that's worth pointing out. It's listen, I like you. I think you're great.
Yeah.
That's why I like seeing you.
That's true.
But these people have a problem with it, and that's what it is with them.
Right. That's it.
And I think that's important to mention.
And honestly, I think that's all you got to say.
Right.
All right.
So
I think we did great.
I'm gonna bang the gavel. I haven't banged the gavel in a while.
Well, how did it feel?
Power is sweet.
Good. Yeah. Happy to hear it. Anyway, all right. I think that does it for us, right?
Yes.
Okay, good, because my legs are going numb.
Tell them both your legs.
Both. God, it's so ridiculous.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I mean it is.
Yeah.
Who wants to see?
Put that away.
Okay.
All right. This is a family podcast.
Anyway, yes, you can find us at You Both Suck Podcast on all the platforms. Kunal's been crushing it with the TikToks and YouTube shorts. Yes,
thank you.
Yeah.
They're really. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Now I know how you felt when we were complimenting you on your clip work.
Yes, I love when I get a compliment on my clips.
Literally, Dara won't even be in the area, and they'll be like, "I love the clips for the podcast," and I go, "Man, I wish I could take credit, but that's Dara. She's a beast."
Yeah, I am. Know? But no, you're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot coming from somebody like you, because you're not like a slouch.
And I am very particular.
Oh my god, I zoom in on some of these clips and I go, Dara, not gonna be happy about that.
I hate that. I'll say that much. I do hate the zoom ins, especially when I'm having a bad skin day or a bad angle. God help you. Yeah. But whatever. It's been fine. Okay. Yeah. That's where you can find us at You Both Suck Podcast. You can submit your squabbles via the Google form in the link in our bio. And that's about it. I am at Dara Pollock.
And I'm at All Day KCA. I'm putting more clips of stand up there. So if you want to check those out.
Yes. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.